getting dicey.
Okay, let's get the map up, which is there. Let me just turn off Adam's square for a bit since he's not here tonight. And we'll get some sound going. It's still pouring down outside of Argenvostholt. You guys have all just woken up. It's you've all leveled up as well. Level 11, which is fantastic for you guys. Probably pretty bad news for Strahd at this point. American, you had a very... You didn't wait... You've had some dreams over the last few weeks while here in Barovia. And a lot of them have given you sort of little insights into future things, like the rock picking up Bill. There's been a few other bits and pieces like the exploding wagon. All these things that have come to fruition. And last night there was another vision, but it was a little more obvious in the story it was trying to tell. And you're not sure if it was while you're dreaming it, you're seeing these armies, just a big mashing of armies just coming together, and swords and things clashing, and there's big sound, and you look up from the battle, and there's two moons in the sky, and the two moons slowly turn away from being moons and into the eyes of this giant owl that's looking out over all of Barovia. And then in a very dreamlike fashion, you look back down, and there's no sort of environment that war was taking place on anymore, and it's just you standing in front of this owl. And when you go to look up at it, the owl has been replaced with an elven woman who introduces herself as Sehanine. And she walks over to you and places her hand on your shoulder, and you just feel filled with awe and majesty of this creature in front of you, this elf in front of you. And she just delicately states to you, continue on the path you're on, and you will find your way home. And she fades back into the darkness, and the battle kicks in. But then it just becomes like a normal dream where like weird stuff. You've forgotten your pants, and now you're back. Yeah. So what's going on? And it just continues into a normal dream. But and you wake up. You wake up in the morning with everybody else.
Oh my.
Morley's a bit sweaty. So I was as our conversation was last week. Obviously, there's a possibility for things to expedite over the next few sessions, where we might move through things quickly. I don't know if tonight's going to be one of those sessions, because I know that there's possibly more things that you want to do in this current area. So I'll move that over to you guys. American, you're the first to wake. Have you rolled your D4 for what state you're going to be in?
Yes, I have. And I've rolled a 1, which unfortunately for everyone around me, I awaken in the winter state with the frosty chill in my heart and my soul. I've had the most strange dream. Yes, a great battle. A battle before us.
Battle? I'm just waking up and rubbing my eyes.
Like, American is the one that's like waking everyone just by like talking at them as if they should be awake.
Pacing on like back and forth in the room, muttering about battle and doom.
Can you remember your dreams? Sometimes I have trouble.
Oh yes, this was clear to me. I sometimes fear I'm becoming too psychic.
Can you become too psychic?
Maybe.
Ew.
Oh, it was frighteningly clear.
What was it? What did you dream of?
battle.
Battle.
And the moons. And the owl.
Moons.
And
The
the
owl.
great- Yes. Keep up, Brian. I swear.
Peepers.
You're not letting me. No! Not Peepers.
Probably peepers.
You're disrespecting the majesty of what I saw before me. Yes, I believe it was a goddess. She was speaking directly to me. She said we were
What
on
did
the right
she-
path.
Oh,
She said we're on the right path.
Yes.
a goddess.
But I believe it was a message personally for me.
So you're on the right path.
Yeah, I'm on the right path. She didn't say anything about you, but
Damn it.
stick with me, I suppose.
Okay. Well, that sounds like wheel
See?
to me.
I'm not feeling really very good today, to be honest. But
What about this
shame.
battle? So the goddess was good, but there was a battle. Was that good or bad?
I believe I have foreseen the armies we have raised clashing with the forces of Strahd.
Were we winning?
It got a little hairy at the end, quite literally. But that was probably where it got a bit surreal and everyone was naked.
Okay.
But the rest of the dream, I think, was real, portending real things. That bit I'm not so sure. I hope not.
Hmm.
Everyone was naked.
No, thank you.
No.
Because I just learned a spell
Okay.
Okay.
that called Otto's Irresistible Dance. So maybe that does come up.
Oh.
Maybe
You know, I
everyone
did-
does get naked.
I did wake up feeling more powerful than I've ever been before. I believe this dream is telling us to use our power. Yes, we have missions ahead of us.
So you're on the right path, but where is that path heading, American?
Well, I believe each of us has a link to this land that we must pursue. We must raise a revolt.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
must
now you're
harness
talking. A revolt.
Our anger
Revolution. Sorry?
against the injustices.
Yeah. I like it.
Yes. We inspire the
Pamphlets?
common man. Yes.
Well, we've got the help of these revenants.
Yes.
Any other ideas we could revolt with? Who would want to revolt with us?
Well, for one, Casimir and the Dusk Elves have gone through horrific things at Strahd's hands. I will avenge them. I believe it is one of my missions to find them and bring them with us.
Dusk elves. Yeah.
Return them to their rightful place of power in this world.
Power.
Personal power, nothing scary.
Yeah.
You just don't want them to be in indentured servitude forever and ever, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've
What
been
about-
very downcast, haven't you know, like in hovels.
Yes, have you seen where Casimir lives?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I didn't want to say anything to Casimir, but it's not great.
No, I swear to you, I will have Rahadin's head if it's the last thing I do.
Rahadin.
I'm sure Casimir would love to hear that. No sarcasm.
Where
I
is
think
he?
would.
Where
Casim-
is he, by the way?
Casimir is with his sister Petrina back at the church in
Right.
Valaki, hiding his deathly look.
Oh.
Well, speaking of Casimir and how he's back at the church, I think the people of Barovia and the servants of the Morning Lord, I'm sure would relish the opportunity to overthrow Strahd and be able to freely practice their religion, not under his dark reign.
Yeah, is it kind of like an illegal religion? Or-
Well, I don't think he particularly likes the whole sun theme thing.
Yeah. So
You're
they're
right.
persecuted.
Yeah, I think he prefers a sort of night-based, sort of focused around himself type religions.
Yes. So what you were saying, you're going the
Well,
people in
I think maybe you know, the church could help us and help us rally the people, or some of the people.
yeah.
Yes.
I wonder how many
Yes.
followers there are of that. Do you know of the religion? Morning Wood.
652.
Sorry, I always call it Morning Wood.
And they're all really strong and muscly.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. They're all
Okay.
soldiers.
They each have the power of Strahd. The same challenge rating.
Okay. But you know, I guess what are you talking about, like the people in the village or people in the or just priests and
I'm talking about both. I imagine.
all right. All the
led by
followers.
priests. Well, as many as are, of fighting age and willing to come with us. I'm not going to coerce anybody.
Yeah. What about the abbot? Is he in the Morning Lord religion?
He was once. I don't know if he still attends mass, so to speak.
Well, he'd started up, wouldn't he? Start up the
with
mass.
his,
Is that how you do it?
with his
Yeah.
with his
Begin
with his followers, I suppose.
He doesn't really have
Fewer
too many. He doesn't really have too many
quite
followers
small in
now.
number now. We've kind of
I believe he
I don't
has
wanna think about
one.
taken his flock from him.
Yeah.
Well, there's also those people in that town. What was that town?
Kretsk.
Kretsk. That he brought that child back to life, and maybe there's followers in Kretsk as well. It's like a religious town.
Yeah, maybe.
Could
Yeah,
be a
I'm
lot
sure,
of
we
them.
I'm sure we could send word to him.
Yeah.
An
If we wanna
arduous
do that.
task. Oh,
I suppose
an
we-
arduous task indeed. Pardon me, Bill, I interrupted you.
Well, I was just gonna say, it is a bit of a risk to tell him about this uprising we're planning.
You're
The abbot.
right.
Yeah,
He wishes to win Strahd over. I do not think he can be trusted.
Oh, really?
he did say to us that he does want to break the curse, but he thinks the best way to break the curse is working with Strahd.
Or by
Which-
making a woman.
Yeah,
That's a bit weird.
stitching together the body parts of other people and passing it off as a beautiful woman. That's his plan.
She was a
I
beautiful
can't-
woman. Very, very
Okay.
beautiful.
She was. Fantastic stitch work.
He's
Well-
not right in the head.
But he does owe us one. Let's not forget that. We did what he
Does
asked.
he?
Yeah, he asked us to kill all of, the horrors that he had created.
Well,
He-
he sort of
you-
he
you
strong-armed us into it.
You did what he felt he wasn't strong enough to do
Yeah.
himself.
So I'd say that he owes us one. I mean, that's the
think
worst
so.
thing I've ever done.
I don't
That's a hell of a one.
I think we need to, if anything, intimidate him and bully him into helping us. As I don't think he's motivated by pureness of heart.
You think we should bully him?
He bullied us.
You think a personal visit, not
He
a
started
send a
it.
raven kind of thing.
He bullied us into killing all of his freakish abominations.
He did. He manipulated us, to be honest. Yeah. But I mean, let's not forget about him. I think I think he could be. I mean, he was powerful. He's powerful enough to bring someone back to life.
This is true. We do not want him working with Strahd.
No,
If we
definitely.
just chain him up and keep him out the picture. That might be a bit evil, though.
I just think he's quite powerful, and if we could have him on our side, it would be good. And I'm sure he's Morning Lord material.
Perhaps if Bill was to inspire the church to join him and then pay a visit to the abbot, bringing good tidings of the strength of the church.
Yes. Yeah.
It's worth a try.
Who's the highest up in this church, Bill?
Well, the Morning Lord themselves.
Apart from the god.
God's always at the top of the religion.
Yeah, I wouldn't just.
I mean, it's
Sure.
not. There's not a. As far as I know, there's not like a bunch of deacons and bishops and stuff. I think
So
it's
there's
just
not like a pope.
the priests. I don't think there's a morning pope.
Oh. You could be a morning pope.
Do I know that?
You basically all you know about this church is what you have experienced here in Vallaki. So, as far as you're aware, the top of the top at the moment is the priest you know in Vallaki, basically.
Look, it's been each of the villages has had to do what they can to survive, and inevitably from that, at least a priest emerges and tries to offer what little comfort they can to the people of the town. So it's not a highly organised hierarchy.
I'm trying to remember.
The land isn't wealthy enough to fund a Pope mobile yet, but it will.
I'm just
They,
having,
they are working on a hat, though.
Sick.
I'm just having a quick sick. Yeah, sorry. So there was a statue of the Morning Lord in Kretsk, if you remember, in the gazebo at Kretsk.
Yeah, got struck by lightning, didn't it? Or no,
Yeah. Well, the
it
water
blew
didn't-
over or
yeah,
something.
got knocked over.
Out of character, is an abbot higher? Like, what is an abbot? Just the head of a monastery?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Downton Abbey, think that, the ruler of...
So it's not like a rank thing between
It's just
an abbot and a priest.
a dictionary says a man who is the head of an abbey of monks. So basically, he's just the head of
Top monk.
the abbey. Yeah.
Okay.
The monkiest. And then there's the other guy in Vallaki, so he's more connected to the people rather than a bunch of monks.
Father Lucian.
That's the one.
Father Lucian, yeah. So should we go talk to him, or?
Was there
Yes,
anything else
I
you
think we
wanted?
should.
Is there anything else you'd like to do here at Argenvostold?
Well, I was wondering, in fact, there were some magical artifacts in this stronghold, was there not?
Yeah. You did some searching through before calling it a night, and there wasn't. To be honest, they're not in the rooms that you could get in and out of anyway. There was some rooms that you were warned to sort of stay away from due to the traps, but there was nothing of note other than what belongs to Vladimir and Godfrey.
So if I talk to Vladimir and Godfrey, they wouldn't be like, oh, in those rooms with traps, there's stuff that we can't get to.
Let's have a look at. I'll take a look at exactly what is in those rooms. Other than scary things, because you got to remember these guys haven't really run this place for a while. They've just been living in their own.
Languishing.
Yeah.
Self-pity.
What we can say is that maybe you've spoken to Godfrey, who heads down into the second floor, and he comes back and he says this. He says, "This isn't much, but I hope this comes in handy for you." And he hands over these four potions. These were down in one of the knights' quarters. They are potions of invulnerability.
That sounds amazing. And being invulnerable.
So, for 1 minute after you drink the potions, you have resistance to all damage. And it looks like the liquid inside looks to be almost like a liquefied iron. That's what it looks like. But yeah, so
this
for a
is
minute,
no ordinary potion.
so for a minute after drinking, you have resistance, not invulnerable, so you get half damage for like all types of damage.
Should we put one each in our inventory?
Yeah.
Do you want me to hold on to all of these magical items?
I'm going to smack Brian's hand away as he tries to take more than one. It's like, Brian, no! Stop that. Sharing is caring. Everyone in the party gets one.
Okay.
Potion of invulnerability.
But I'm afraid that's all I have available for you.
Well, this is quite incredible, Godfrey. You should not apologize. We will need every weapon we get.
Yes, that's very handy.
Tell me, Godfrey, tell me. There is a group of giant spiders living nearby, are there not?
I believe so. They have taken up residence in the southern area of this destroyed castle.
I should very much like to see them. I believe I can convince them to aid us.
It'd be
How many are
great
there?
if you could remove them from here, to be honest. That would be great.
You do not like them?
Means we could start looking to rebuild that area of the castle.
Right. No one appreciates spiders.
They are disgusting. Did you know that I had a dream the other night of a giant spider? And it was harassing me in my home. And it was about the size of a large mouse. And I was very scared of it. And the best I could do was throw a book at it.
I don't know if that was a Baron story or a Shannon story.
I'll leave it at that.
I'm sure your dreams don't mean anything, Brian. Stop trying to make a big deal of them.
Well, they are scary. I appreciate that you have an affinity for them, but do we really want giant spiders to
Silly
near
a
us?
question I've never heard. Right, we should make a plan. I think we should stick together. I feel Strahd and his minions will pursue us if we split up, like fools.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Yeah.
Morley
Has
been
the
doing?
Sweating.
He's just
Morley, you've been so
still
quiet.
sleeping.
Morley puts forth his plan to talk to the Raven folk, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
He mentions that in briefly in between snores.
yeah.
Oh, so that's in the same town.
And he says, we probably don't have to worry about that for a couple of sessions. Okay, good. Thank you, Morley.
Yeah, thanks.
He said,
Morley.
we'll do mine last.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the plan from here? Where are you off to? Are you wanting to go and sort out these spiders, American?
I suppose. I've got a question about the potion. Did you say it was a potion of invulnerability?
Correct.
I'm not seeing it as an option.
I had to make a
Weird.
custom.
Yeah, I did a custom one.
Oh, okay.
I
Thought I was just missing something.
Unless it's unvulnerability.
can show you this. Boom, that's just showing up there. So you should be able to get a look at that on roll 20.
For
Ah.
1 minute.
Yeah. So you get resistance of half damage for all damage. That's pretty good.
I'd rather not get any damage though. Got one of
That's
those.
fair. That's fair. No, I don't have one. I don't. They don't have any of those sitting
I was
around.
going to say it is pretty clever marketing, this potion.
Yeah, potion of half invulnerability.
yeah.
Semi-invulnerability.
It's
If
not
you
potion
drink
of
two-
invincibility. It's not that.
If you drink 2, does it
Yeah,
double
oh,
the time or does it double the reduction?
Double up.
Well, if you drink them back to back, it just gives you like however many seconds the difference it took. So if you drunk it 5 seconds after the first, then you get a minute 5.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it doesn't stack, unfortunately.
Stacking in your tummy. Plus, it doesn't look that great to drink. Look at it.
Yeah,
I
almost
drink
like
a lot of
mercury.
What? There's
Yeah.
a picture?
No, and it's like liquid iron.
You've made a picture. Have you made a picture in your mind of some sort?
Yes.
Far out.
You guys are getting really good at this D&D thing.
Holy shit! He just made a picture in his mind.
Then it's just like, look at it. And we're like, what?
I can see
What am I
it.
just meant to pretend?
We're
Like,
all. What's that? There's that disorder where you can't picture anything.
Aphantasia.
Aphantasia, yeah.
Yeah,
Imagine a D&D crew. That's what we've got, apparently.
yeah. Yeah.
D&D crew of people with aphantasia. There's no imagination of pictures.
All right, well, what we'll say, unless there's anything you wanted to do in this room, a lot of this conversation is happening on your way back down to the ground floor of this castle, of Argenvost and as you descend the staircase down into the central foyer, you are quickly reminded of the sound of the spiders to your south.
What do they sound like?
what a
Like
beautiful
little skittering of legs and like they're all wandering around. Oh, like feet. Their little toes on the stonework beneath them.
little toes.
Up in a patter of little feet.
Yeah.
We're going to make it sound so nice.
The terrifying sound
feet.
of mandibles scraping against each other.
Each has got 8 feet.
8 toes.
American. So the giant spiders are through there. How many giant spiders do you think there are?
I'm gonna listen out and try and count how many toes I hear.
Give me a perception roll.
My spider sense is tingling.
Yeah.
That's
Not tingling
That
that
was a
much, but
good
it's a
call.
6 plus 8 for 14.
There could be maybe a dozen.
That's a lot of spiders.
Mm.
Whew. I am a little nervous. They could
You're
just
nervous.
eat me alive, you know.
I know. But you got this. Yeah, if anyone can talk to a spider, I believe in you. But not me. But you.
Right. Well, maybe I should go in there. And if I start screaming like I'm being eaten alive, come and help me.
I like that.
We'll come and help.
I think Morley readies his like crossbow and like darts into the shadows just in case.
Oh, thank you, Morley.
Get stuck in a web. Boom.
It's weird. There's no weird. There's other than the sound that American knows. She knows there are spiders, and so she's putting the sound together. There's no webbing or anything on the inside on your side of this doorway. So there's no other than knowing that there are spiders. There would be no way to tell.
Right. Well, I must trust to the divine words of the goddess and continue the path I sense before me. I will bring these creatures to our side as a weapon against Strahd. And I stride forward, hiding the nervousness in my heart.
So there's a couple of doors to yourself. Is there any specific one that you're heading towards?
Which one are the spiders behind? All of them?
Well, you can't really tell. You
I
just
can't
know
see
that,
the map anyway,
No,
so...
you know that basically beyond there, the place had been just completely destroyed.
Yeah, I just go through the nearest... Well, no, I listen out and I go up to both of them in turn and listen intently to hear through the cracks where the scuttling is closest.
It seems even across both.
Oh, can I go... Didn't you say they're in like a part of the building where like the ceilings have been caved in?
Yeah, from you may not remember, but almost the entire south side of this castle has just been collapsed, and is
Right.
open to the weather.
So is there a way for me to go around and climb up on top to approach them, coming from a position above them, rather than entering right on their ground level?
Let me take a look at the floor above. Yes, yeah. You are basically at the floor above you. As you were coming down this stairway, there was a corridor. You noticed that opened up into the roof had come off, and it had sort of crumbled away as well. And you could imagine that would somewhat look down over them. Yeah.
Okay. I'll relate the plan that I'm going to do that to my companions, because I don't want to just walk in on the ground floor. It feels more vulnerable.
Okay.
I want to come to them from a position of power, show them that I'm not to be trifled with. And I don't want them to just rush and attack me as an intruder. I mean, they might, but I'll have a bit more warning this way.
Okay. So, are you heading upstairs then?
Yeah.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll move you up. If you scroll up, you'll see yourself on the second floor. And there's, as I mentioned, if you were to continue up the southern stairs and head down the corridor, you'd head out into the rain coming down upon you, and you'd feel the wind and the soaked, rotten floorboards beneath your feet. And where it overhangs, you'd be able to see down at anything that was beneath you.
Right.
Is anyone else heading up as well, or are you doing something else to help strategize?
Well, I was going to ask what do you want us to do, American? Do you want us to come with you or stay here?
Bill, come with me. No, all of you come with me. I want you close at hand. But do not reveal yourselves until I say so.
All right, I've moved all of you guys up to the top there. And a dead body for some reason. Let's get rid of that.
Oh, keep it.
Oh, look, Brian. You love those.
What are we doing, American?
We're getting the spiders.
We're following the path before us.
Are you going to dive down into there?
I'm going to improvise, Brian.
Okay.
Just trust me.
When you jump in, you should yell out, "Raid!" That will freak the shit out of them. And then...
That's true.
Raid.
Then they'll all just spontaneously explode.
No, that's spiders, isn't it? I mean, flies.
Yeah.
Spiders are
I'm nervous. What's Morley up to? Let's just cut to Morley for half
We're
an
not
hour.
dealing with Morley until
I don't-
Adam is back, unfortunately.
What's Morley up to?
Crying.
That sounds
He's probably saying that we should all run away.
He's probably telling American that he's really frightened for me and he cares a lot about me.
I feel like you're procrastinating here, Joe. Remove
A little bit, yeah.
Remove this band-aid. Let's get on with it. What are we wanting to do?
Okay. Well, I'm going to start before I walk towards the spiders. I'm going to take my hand and run it over my arms, casting guidance on myself to steel myself for this task I have before me.
Nice. Don't forget also, by the way, Needle showed up last week, and what it was the next failed charisma check would become a success. So you have that
I'm
as
really
well.
good at failing charisma
That
checks.
is good, though.
What if I want to fail it now, I'll probably succeed somehow.
Just do a bunch.
Just do one.
As many as you want.
Yeah, just keep filibustering them.
Yeah, jump down, start talking to them for like many hours.
All right, I'm going to step out onto the ledge, having cast that guidance on myself, and I'm just going to step out and see if they notice me.
Okay. Yeah, so don't forget to move your tokens as well, because people are watching. People are like watching to see what you
I
do
don't
with your
know
tokens.
where. Where
At
does
the-
it go?
Down to the south. We're talking about the
All right,
broken
yeah.
part of the... Yeah, there we go. So you
I'm
walk...
scared.
You walk up the stairs and out onto the wooden hallway, which is just drenched now with rain, and it's rotting, and it's sort of squishy and soft underneath your feet as you head out. And you can hear the sounds of the spiders below you, and you reach the edge of this walkway, of this destroyed walkway, as close to the edge as you feel safe, and you can see beneath you like 4 or 5 of these spiders sort of scampering around. But you can see that some of them are moving underneath where you're standing and others are moving out. So you're not getting a full read for how many are under there. But they haven't noticed you yet. And some of them are bundling up small prey like rabbits and deer and bundling them up. And others are feasting on stuff as well.
Right.
Small prey like deer. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, more than Lord.
I'm gonna my first move is going to be to try to assert dominance over them silently, by standing proudly and firmly and planting myself and bringing down my staff on the ground to get their attention. And I'd like to do an animal handling roll to see if that can get their attention and hold it.
Okay. Yeah, give me
Perhaps with an intimidation aspect to it, like showing that I'm not scared of them. And so I've rolled an 18, and I'm going to add that guidance to it to get a +3 for 21.
21. Okay. Yeah, you bring your staff down, and despite that wood like being soft underneath your feet, you still manage to land down on a knot that just lends out this solid sound, like this thwacking sound, and the spiders.
It's a spongy,
Yeah, it's
spongy
very,
staff as well.
everything's spongy. It's just soft. And the spiders stop and they try and look up to where you are, and some of them do so by there's like poles and pedestals beneath you that's like holding up the rooms above them, and some of them are using some of the walls to get their feet up on to be able to get a better look at what's above them, and they sort of start hissing between each other, and there's a lot of sounds now coming from beneath you, but they've stopped, they've frozen in place, while some of them have climbed to get a look at where that sound has come from.
Okay. I'm going to now cast Speak with Animals
Okay.
by holding my staff in front of me and whispering. I have gained the ability to speak with the spiders, and I can hear they're now hissing as words.
And yeah, the hissing is them just alerting like directions of that there is someone, there's something, and whereabouts is, and sort of it's almost like they're strategizing for the best way to take you out.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm now going to address the spiders in a strong and confident tone, and I'm going to say, brothers and sisters, I see many strong, fierce beasts before me.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Let's get that -1 going. I've rolled a 2 -1 for 1 needle.
Yeah. That needle's spin of the wheel kicks in, and you as you're delivering it, you're feeling that it's not as confident as you wanted it to be. But that one is a successful roll now.
Ooh, got a second wind.
And maybe they don't understand the nuance of like the tones you're using. They're just hearing the words. And you can hear one of them now sort of with hisses and clicks return a response. Well, it's more talking amongst themselves again, talking about how, yes, we are strong, we are powerful, but it's like they're all almost as if they're all talking from a hive mind back towards you.
I'm going to confidently declare, I am also strong and powerful. I am here to help you as an ally. Do you wish to feast?
And they all sort of start mirroring that word feast back in that same sort of click and hiss sound that you've made. They're very interested, just having that being repeated amongst all of them. And now that you've started a conversation, there's a scurrying, and all of these spiders are now moving into position to be able to finally see you. And there is like a sea of these enormous spiders, these giant spiders beneath you now. There's like 12, a dozen of them easy.
I want to try to prove my power to them, and I'm going to shout out, "Let me prove my power to you. Do you have any among you that needs to be restored?"
Okay, there's a lot of excitement amongst these spiders now, and the clicks and the hisses that you're getting back are they're repeating again those same words of proving power, and they split into like 2 rows of 6 as if guiding you further south, and then in sort of unison within themselves, they mention taking you to prove your power, like taking you somewhere.
Okay, I'm going to come with them. I'm going to step down off the ledge somehow, or climb down off it, or whatever. However I do that. We follow the spiders somehow.
We can say that you did, like, there's no safe way. This is like a 20-30 foot drop down.
I parkour down.
You roll it, and we'll sit. No, you can, if you want to, you can find we can athletics your way down.
Oh, can I do a survival roll
Not
for navigating the terrain?
Have you
that
got
would
spider
be.
climb?
I do, but I think it's concentration, so I wouldn't be able to talk to them anymore. Speak with animals. Is it concentration? No,
it just lasts
so
2 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to burn another spell slot to use spider climb and impress them with my sick climbing ability.
Great.
I'm going to take out tar from my pouch and elegantly smooth it over my skin. And I gain the power to climb on walls.
Great. Do you want to describe sort of how you maneuver your way back down to the ground floor? The rest of you've just been listening to this horrific sounds of spiders communicating with each other. And now American is just taking those first steps over the edge. You're not really sure where she's going.
I'm going to casually drape my arm across the wall as I walk, taking a sideways turn up onto the wall and gracefully spiraling down as if it's nothing. I want to present myself like a casual goddess to them.
Okay, great. I'm very excited by that, by the way.
Yes, I am one of you.
Bill?
I'm going to message American and just say, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to follow or stay here, or?
Good question. I think I'm going to say to the spiders as I reach the ground, I'm going to explain to them, I have powerful allies that can join us. Please, will you accept them?
And again, they're just repeating that, the clicks and hisses that you're using for like proving power. And so it's almost like they want to prove all of the group's power.
Yes, you may test them as you wish. And I'm going to message back to Bill. They have given you an audience.
All right. And I follow. I can't spider climb, but I'll just rappel down.
Yeah, great. I think Morley is freaking out at this point. I think it would be pretty normal for Morley to be pretty concerned about the idea of going off with a dozen giant spiders to prove your power, but he reluctantly follows along as well.
As Morley walks in, Mirakin turns to him to reassure him, but she forgets and she starts speaking spider at him, so he just hears like a terrifying hissing emanating in his direction.
Baron?
Yes, I will tentatively follow along. I think I'll get my skeletons to form a huge skeletal ladder by holding onto each other's ankles and wrists, and I'll climb down.
You're making a scene, Brian.
Sorry.
I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. So
American's in a pissy mood, so she has to critique everything. She's a hater.
Now that you're down on this part of the back down on the ground floor of Arkenvostal in the broken down section, it's now that you see just how much like this part has been somewhat of a nest for some of these spiders. There's like webbing everywhere, and there's half decayed and eaten animal corpses littered around as well as the occasional wolf and villager. And they've now created this row of 6 spiders heading further south, almost like a path for you to walk down.
Spooky.
Oh, so we walk between the spiders?
Well, that's what they're sort of implying.
Yeah. Walk between the spiders, Brian. Trust me.
Well, I trust
Don't
you.
let them sense.
Well,
Don't let them sense your fear.
they can sense that?
Oh yes, very much so.
Oh no.
Now Morley's sweating.
They love it. They're drawn to it.
Oh.
All right, we follow the spiders down there, down the column that they've created.
Yeah, as you walk through it, you sort of near the end of this little column, but then now the spiders all start walking with you as if to guide you further south. And you're only walking for about a minute and a half. And some of these spiders, as you're walking, they are sort of like flicking and grabbing at your clothing, just almost like their instincts are telling them to hurt you, but they're fighting everything to hold back. And you approach this almost like a small cavern entrance. It's these boulders in the side of this hilly mound, and there is just cobwebs all around this the opening. And the opening is maybe only 4 foot tall. And the spiders line up, so the only way forward now is through this little cavern.
Okay. So does that mean we have to just stoop to walk through?
That's correct. And again, there's webbing. There's webbing everywhere around you as well. And it's pitch black in there too.
Look, if it was anyone else asking me to go into a giant spider hole to go hang out with giant spiders, I would probably say no. But I'm going to cast the spell Dark Vision.
Okay, great. So
and
you can all
follow behind.
So you can all see in the dark. Okay, great. The thing that you're noticing now, Baron, is as you are getting closer to that hole, the spiders are trying to get in behind you so that they're blocking your skeletons.
Oh, so they can't come in.
That's the insinuation you're getting. That they're basically what there is now.
What are you insinuating, giant spiders?
Is that there's like a closed column of spiders now around you. So there's no way back, and the only way forward is now into this cave.
So they're anti-skeleton. Did you know that? That your new friends are anti-skeleton? As I shuffle forward through this fucking spider pit.
And they start sort of hissing and ticking and cackling, not cackling, but making these little poppy sounds. And they're saying to you that they'll be waiting here for you.
Yes, so just leave them waiting, Brian. They haven't said anything discriminatory.
So Seems a bit exclusive in here,
Let us
isn't it?
proceed. We must continue to follow the path. This is as it is portend to me.
Okay. Will you lead the way? I can see, at least.
We do that.
I'll just make
We
sure.
proceed.
I got to make sure that.
We win.
Yes.
Baron, do you have? Can you see anything on that map, Baron?
Yes, it's loading, but it looks like I can.
Okay, I just need to make sure that you can.
Well, there's sort of a
see-
sharp line on the right.
1 second, I'm just making sure that you've got night vision. Is that better? Can you see that? Can you see your token and the environment?
I don't think it's changed anything.
Oh no, that's all right.
I can
But-
see the token. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can see the ground around me. Just
Okay,
at the right, there's the.
Yeah, no, that's all
fine.
good. So so you've only a few steps now into this cavern, and you're noticing there's just a large number of webs, but it's quite quiet in here, except for the sounds of the similar sounds that you were hearing back at Argynvost Holt, the sort of skittering sounds of legs on stonework. And you can see a little further ahead that the small cramped cave system that you're in looks to open up into a relatively large like hall or room ahead of you. And you look behind you, and again, you've just got that blinding light coming from outside, just the natural the light coming in, and it is now slowly covering over with just the forms of the spiders blocking the exit.
Have we come in from the north?
Yeah, from like the north east.
Okay. And
Yeah.
my skeletons aren't there.
Oh, sorry, yes, I should.
Is that right?
That's correct. We'll get rid
No,
of
just
those.
ignore. I'll ignore them. Okay.
I continue
So
to stride forward into the darkness.
yes, and I will tentatively follow.
Yeah, American.
I think Morley parkours it a little bit, but not much.
Runs along the wall.
Morley
Casually.
is like really on edge down here, and is like checking over his shoulder and into the corners of the darkness every step he takes. And I think
Morley's like the only.
I think he'd say that I've got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, what gave you that feeling?
Morley is the only sane one in our party, I swear.
Yeah, this area that you're now moving into is just enormous, and it spreads out further than your dark vision can take you.
Who'd have thought that such a large cave system would be right here next to the mansion?
One
What
of
do you
the
see, Merrick?
one of the spiders from behind you can hear just skittering quickly, starts skittering past and around you, and into the darkness to the south.
I think it's
Right,
big.
we
Bill,
continue.
you okay?
Oh, he's dead.
He died.
Not dead. Not
He's
dead.
just in
Yeah.
a cocoon in the corner, being rolled up by a spider.
Spider on his face. Yeah, I guess you're okay with this sort of thing, Bill. You're a brave fellow.
This is something else, though. I was not expecting a massive spider cavern.
No.
It's rather
Maybe I should have.
thrilling, isn't it?
Massive spider cavern.
Yeah, I thought they just lived in a house. Was this place supposed to be American?
It's a natural wonder. Let us proceed.
Okay.
I proceed.
I thought I'd proceed.
You move in, and you're seeing just on the far edges of your vision now, there's a couple of little alcoves that are just filled with spider webs, and you can see in each of these alcoves, one to the north, one to the east there, that you can see some of these giant spiders busy at work, just sort of making nests and webs.
Good.
In the
Making
middle of this room,
mess.
as you get into this middle of the room, is this giant statue of a spider, larger than any of the ones that you've seen so far.
statue.
Almost like this was built to worship something much, much bigger and much scarier.
What's that statue of there?
Oh, this is unexpected.
Can
Would I know anything about that?
I don't think you would. I'm not going to get you to roll for that. I don't think you would. Other than like it looks to be similar to some of the spiders that you've already seen, but the statue itself is easily twice the size.
It seems others have recognized the majesty of these creatures.
So someone's made this, or have I suppose the spiders haven't made this?
Well, this doesn't look like a spider-made hall, although the entrance in seemed a bit weird. But this looks
so
to be
man-made.
man-made of some sort. Yeah.
Well, it's not a natural wonder. I take it back.
Or just a solidified spider. But it's a let me get this straight. It's a statue of a giant spider in a pose, or
no, just. I mean, it's posed. It's not like upside down with like its legs curled in or anything like that. It's just it's standing. Yeah.
Is there any inscription?
No. Which makes it only more ominous.
Yes. So I can't do like a religion check, or
no. I'm not going to get you to roll anything
I just wouldn't
for this.
know. Okay.
The
Yeah,
statue.
fair enough.
There is some more skittering off to the western side as you look over and see another spider in another alcove. And you can see now, you get a bit more of a clear look that this, the spider in this alcove, it's not making just a little web, it's looking after just what looks to be hundreds of eggs.
Oh, cute.
And off to the south, again, this room is just so large that even at the edges of your dark vision, you see nothing, you can't, it just looks like the room just keeps going. And now you can see, maybe another 100 feet off in the distance, just these small red like glows from the darkness. And you can hear now you're getting a bit closer, you can hear, and you've still got that speak with animals going. You can hear now that there's a bit of a conversation, these hissing and skittering sounds, and it sounds like one of them is talking to another one about proving the power that these strong people are going to help them feast. And there is just a deeper, louder clicks and pops and this deeper hiss as it returns the words, "Let's test them then." And out from the darkness, from the south, a spider bigger than...
What?
A spider bigger than anything you've ever seen before emerges from the south side of this room, from a cavern to the south.
How big are we talking here? Size of a hippo?
Okay, well, here we go. So
Space hippo?
It is the radius of its its leg span would be so let's say diameter of 20 feet. So
20.
Put that into...
Is that like a school bus? Or
Yeah, that would be about right.
is it the size, I guess, is its body as large as an outlander?
It would be the height. This thing would be on all fours. The height of this thing at the top of its abdomen would be maybe 3 meters high, 10 foot. So about the size of a single-story house.
What?
As this thing starts walking towards you.
This is worse than my dream American.
And again, it just lets out these hisses and clicks in your direction, American. And it says, "If you can prove to me that you can best me, then you may have my flock. And I will get you all to roll for initiative."
God damn it.
Does anyone have a giant shoe?
Raid! Okay. Click my token.
I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 20 plus 3.
Well,
Jeez. It's like it knows it's my
Wait.
side quest.
Bill, did you roll a 1? And American rolled a 20. I just got an 8
Yep.
plus 2.
Yeah, he did.
I got in the middle, you guys got extremes.
I'm just going to roll.
Who's rolling for Morley?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, I have that.
Can you do that, Baron?
Yep, I'll give it a go. Click his token.
You might not be able to click his token, so you might just.
Oh, I
need to-
can.
Okay.
Where the fuck is the initial? Oh, there it is. Pardon my language. 7 plus 4 for 11.
Okay, cool. All right. American, you're at the top of the turn order with a perfect roll of 20 plus your modifier of 3.
Yeah.
What does American do?
Good question. Well, I sense that this beast wants us to best it in battle. So she's just going to mutter under her breath in an icy tone, "If it's a fight you want, well, it's a fight you get." And starts... oh, what are these on the side? Are these like poles? Like,
Yeah, they're
Pillars?
Pillars. Yeah.
and
this
they just
room
lead
is,
up to the roof?
Yeah, this room is really quite large. It's maybe a good 40 feet tall, this room.
Okay. So for my move, I'm going to run towards one of the pillars. Since I've got spider climb on, I'm going to start easily running up the pillar with my movement. I'm going to get as high as I can.
Okay, which would be about halfway
That'll
up the
get me
pillar.
about 20 feet up the pillar, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to start off with a warning shot with my bow. I want to know if I get advantage for having that height or not.
So how high? You went up about 20 feet. Yeah, we'll give you advantage on that.
Okay, great. I can finally use my feet, which I haven't used in so long, as I grab out my bow and arrow and take a shot with
Okay.
advantage. And my feet means that I get to roll again.
Okay.
So I roll thrice. I've rolled a 10, 24, and 17.
Okay, we'll take the 24, which is a hit.
Did it not roll damage?
I don't think it did.
Ooh. Oh, I have to click on it. And I've rolled a piercing damage of 5 plus 5, and then plus 2 on top of that for 12 damage, because I've got these magical braces.
Okay, great. This is something you haven't seen before. You shoot this arrow and it flies towards the spider, and it's just, even though it hits like square on, it just bounces right off.
Was that an ordinary arrow, American?
Yes.
Maybe it's drunk one of those potions.
No, it's better. Whatever it's got is better.
We want that potion. my
Anything else?
You're just gonna call down, "All right, it's time to get violent."
Anything else for American?
I think Runs In pops out.
I was waiting
But
for that. I was just about to drag Runzin out onto the map. There you go.
Runs in, pops out, and sees the giant spider, and just starts waving its arms around and pops back into the void in fear.
Oh, just disappears.
Back here! Come back!
Just gone. Okay. It is like 100 times bigger than poor Runzin, so that makes sense. All right. It is. The spiders in the room, basically, the ones that are all in the corners of the room. The one, first of all, that came running in to talk to this larger spider, just makes its way up next to the side of this larger spider, and all of the other spiders just do nothing. They're just still in their little crevices. the spider, we're going to just call it the spider boss because it seems apt, just charges towards you, American, and starts reaching up the pedestal in the middle of the room and tries to just slam down on you with its front feet, which it tries twice.
It looks disgustingly pink in this picture, which is looks worse than a normal spider, right?
Yeah, why'd they gotta make it so pink?
It's like a spider that had an exoskeleton but has since lost it.
Oh, yeah, because they shed them, don't they?
Ooh, do they?
American,
It's gross.
this has rolled a 24 and a 20. Like, first of all, the rolls that this one did were upsettingly good. So this rolled a 24 and a 23 for its 2 attacks.
Those are both hits, obviously.
The first one dealing 21 bludgeoning damage, and the second one landing for 20 bludgeoning damage.
Oof. Wish I'd drunk that potion.
And we're over to Morley. So who's? I think Morley is absolutely shitting himself right now.
Yeah, and he'd be rubbing it in. He'd be like, "I told you so. I told you this fucking thing would have."
Well, he's clearly going to use his bonus action to try and hide behind the pillar, right? Isn't that one of the things he can do?
It is. It is. Which pillar would you anticipate him running behind?
Well, I think the only one he can reach with his movement is the one I'm on, right?
He's got 30 foot of movement, so he could get to...
he could reach the far side one.
Yeah.
Shall we get him to the far side one? We'll put him on the eastern pillar.
I'm
He's
feeling...
going to shoot.
He slides elegantly along the floor and hides.
He slides the entire 30 feet.
Yeah.
How does he do that?
Uses his bonus
Wait,
action.
he stole my oil of slipperiness.
Slides the whole way back out of the cave.
You probably could do that with the oil of slipperiness.
Slides, and he manages to slide into the shadows behind this pedestal. What do we think he's going to do for a move?
What's his big old damage? Is it Witch Bolt or Scorching Ray?
Scorching Ray does 2d6 if it hits.
That's
Witch
not
Bolt
much.
does
The other one's
1d12.
Well, no, but he can cast it at the second level for 2d12.
And he gets some
do
sort
that.
of bonus for being hidden as well for his magic. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because,
a lot.
and he'd get sneak attack because we're within 5 feet.
With
Well,
a
I'm
finesse
within 5 feet.
ranged. Yeah. Oh, he'd be getting it anyway since he's hidden.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Right.
Oh, is that the flanking rules?
Oh, here we go. If you're hidden from a creature when you cast a spell on it, the creature has disadvantage on any saving throw it makes against the spell this turn. So there's also that.
What is that?
So because he's hidden from a creature, if he casts a spell on it, the creature has disadvantage on any saving throws.
I've just realised Scorching Ray is not 2d6, it's 3 rays, so it's 3 times 2d6, so we should use that, right?
Oh, Scorching Ray is?
Yeah, you get 3 rays.
Witch Bolt you can channel, so he wouldn't have to use another spell slot to... Although he wouldn't be able to hide, I suppose, while he's channeling.
But still. Oh, you'll probably
leave it up
roll
to you
1,
guys.
2d1.
Alright, you guys decide, I don't know.
I think Scorching Ray is good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Scorching Ray. So
What would he
3
say?
rays of fire.
Everybody
and
loves
hurling-
Scorching Ray.
That's what he'd say.
So you make a ranged spell attack.
hmm
So who's going to... Here we go.
I've rolled it once, which is he's rolled a 9 plus 5 for 14 to hit.
A 14 is a miss.
That's a hit.
It's,
Okay.
it's a
He
miss.
tries again. He's rolled a 6 plus 5 for 11.
That's a mess.
True to form. And why does he get 2 goes?
He gets one for each
'Cause
ray.
It creates
Oh,
3.
right.
Oh, he's rolled a 9 plus 5 for 14 again.
That is also just like the first one. That is a mess.
No!
So these
Molly
fiery
throws
bolts.
his hat on the ground.
I quit.
Yeah.
He couldn't hit the broadside of a giant fucking spider.
How does he miss that? Yeah, like surely he should get advantage because it's freaking huge.
Got a
This
plus
thing has
5.
good AC. It's not that he's missing. Is that every time one gets near it, it's moving out of the way of it. It's like in the
Bouncing off
Matrix.
his
Yeah.
abdomen.
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
hits it with his side, and it's just fine.
Yeah.
At the last second, I turn.
Yeah. Baron.
God damn it! Where am I?
This thing
This is why they don't want my skeletons to come in.
It's just this enormous creature scuttling up out of the darkness and attacking American in front of you has been quite a sight to see. You're looking up at the head of this creature in front of you.
I'm tempted to turn off my dark vision.
Just pretend it never happened.
I leave. I don't want to see this. Okay, I do open my eyes and I reach out with my hands. It's like, just fuck off. And I attempt to lift it with my mind and hands as I cast levitate,
Okay.
which can lift 500 pounds. I mean, is it 500 pounds? Obvious. It's a lot, right?
What's that? About 225 kilos.
Well, what is the... It should say it's weight.
I don't think I've ever seen a weight in the stat block.
Oh, really?
Really? That's so strange.
Yeah,
don't
why
think
are they always on about...
Yeah, I don't know. I've never
Maybe
seen weight.
Okay, what size creature is it? I'm guessing it's large size.
It's a large beast. That is correct.
Maybe there's a guideline for how heavy a large beast is.
Let's have a quick look.
Yeah,
So
weight of
large-
giant
Anywhere between 500 pounds to 2 ton. So it's not under 500 pound, and you
Yep.
can lift exactly 500 pound.
So it's on the limits.
It's on the limits.
Spiders would be pretty light compared to other large creatures because
Yeah,
they're
it's
just
not like a
mainly
hippo.
legs.
They're all juice.
Yeah.
They're all just like guts.
They're all
and-
juice and legs.
Yeah, the legs are pretty small. Okay, we'll say it's on the lighter side. I'll allow this. I'll allow
Okay,
this.
all right. And plus it's got, what, spiracules or something? I mean,
Yeah, it's all hydraulics,
How does
right?
it
So it's all just
the limits of its size are dictated by the amount of oxygen in the air. So this thing should be dead already. It dies. Yeah, okay. Well, I did levitate. So it has to do a constitution save of 17.
okay. Well, it has rolled a 16, and that was with advantage. It rolled a 16.
Oh, phew, it used up its good moves. So that means that I can display it here. It starts to float 20 feet up into the air.
Okay.
It's basically like it's just drunk fizzy lifting drinks.
Yeah.
Yep.
It can
As it
only move by
floats up,
pushing or
does-
pulling against a fixed object, which allows it to move as if it was climbing. You can change the altitude up to blah blah blah. If you're the target, you can move up or down as part of your move. Otherwise, you can use your action to move the target, which remains. So it can still attack and do stuff?
It's flailing in the air, so it's 20 feet hot up in the air. So if it can reach someone, if someone's within 20 feet, it could probably kind of attack, but it would not be.
Yeah, so I'll give you an idea. So it's already been attacking American on this pedestal right in front of it. So it has the ability to grab onto that pedestal whenever it wants, really.
Okay, just get away from the pedestal. It's just going to float there like a freak.
Do I get an opportunity attack as it drifts upwards?
No, because now it's just sort of like level with
Oh,
you.
right.
Oh, because you're up there. So
Yeah.
we should attach a string to it, like a big, ugliest balloon ever.
And what is it? So this is a concentration spell.
Yes, up to 10 minutes. So, but I think probably at the end of its turn. Does it say that it can? Well, no.
It just says it's
Up
it's
to
just
10
floating
minutes, and
up
it
for up to
doesn't
10
say it
minutes.
can
It's
resist
just
it.
floating.
That's it.
Oh, this is
But-
great.
But the thing, but I do need you to know that it can move as if it's climbing if it can reach something, and there are pedestals attached to grounds and ceilings right in front of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we need to hit it away from that pillar.
Yeah.
anything else from the Baron?
Push it. Yeah, I move away.
I was waiting for that.
Over near Morley,
Okay.
who's hidden, I suppose. Morley, are you here? I'm so good at this.
He's just like, shh, Baron, shush. Bill, over to you. The spider now gets light on its feet and starts floating up into the air, level with American on this pedestal now, and Baron just runs off in the same direction Morley went.
I just look at Baron kind of incredulously as the spider floats closer to American, and then look back at the spider, shrug my shoulders, and cast a spell. I'm gonna cast Synaptic Static.
Oh,
What?
Ooh.
Okay.
That sounds exciting.
I'm casting it here, so it will reach both of those things. It's 20-foot sphere, so they both need to make an intelligence save. The DC is 18.
Okay, well, the larger one rolled a 12. The smaller one rolled a -1.
wow.
Yeah. Not very
Whoa.
intelligent. Not very smart, that one.
Oh, actually, that's relevant though, because
Oh.
it has to have an intelligence of at least 2 to
Oh.
be affected by the spell.
Well, it has intelligence of 2. It's got a negative
Okay.
modifier of -4. So it has
Okay.
2.
Cool. Okay, so it's affected. So
Yes, yeah.
they each take 27 damage,
Okay.
psychic.
Uh,
Their brain becomes muddled. So it's like, you know, when you have those wouldn't really have pop rocks, but that Sonic ice cream that used to have like the crackling in the back of your head.
yeah.
It's like that, but full noise. That's the only thing you can concentrate on. Everything else around you just disappears.
Like 5 Sonic ice creams at once.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So while that's happening,
While that's happening, it rolls a d6 and subtracts the number from all its attack rolls and ability checks,
oh wow.
as well as Constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. So if it's doing anything like spellcasting,
Yeah.
it can make another intelligence saving throw at the end of its turn to try to cure itself.
Yeah, okay, great. The smaller spider just gets hit and just drops down onto the ground, and is just sort of like writhing around before just darting off, cowering well away into the darkness. It just disappears. It just runs away. The larger one, it doesn't affect it as much as it affected the smaller one, but it is classified as what is it, muddled now? And so it will. Do I roll a d6 now and I just remove that from each attack roll and ability check?
That'd be
or-
easier, right? That'd be easier rather than.
So it is going to remove 3 from everything. Basically everything that it rolls from here on in, as well as its Constitution saving throws. Okay.
Only
cool.
to concentrate.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Constitution
To maintain
saving
its concentration on
And it can
spell.
make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns to try and at the end of its turn. Oh man, okay, that's great move, fantastic move. Anything else from Bill?
throw. And then I'm just going to call out to American and just say, "You can do this, American.
Oh.
Tame these beasts." And I'm going to put Bardic Inspiration on her,
Ooh,
which is now a
thank
D10.
you. So what does that do? I should know this.
So you can add a D10 to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and it can be added after seeing your initial roll, but before you know the outcome.
Cool.
So you can
Okay.
roll, and if it's bad, and you go, "Oh, I think a D10 might get us there," you can do it.
Cool.
Right.
Any movement from Bill?
No, I'm just going to stay here.
Like a boss. American, back at the top of the order.
American's looking bloodied by the spider's crushing blows, and she's panting as she looks as it levitating towards her.
Sorry about that. I didn't really think about that.
But there's a mad, terrifying glint of fury in her eyes. She wipes some blood dramatically off her face and puts her bow away quickly as she wraps herself in a silvery mist while glaring at the spider. I use Misty Step
Oof, we haven't
to
seen this for a
teleport
while.
off the pillar. And because I'm in the winter mode, I choose one visible creature within 5 feet, and it must succeed on a wisdom save or be frightened of me until the end of its next turn. Until the end of my next turn, actually. So it has to
Okay.
roll a wisdom save or be frightened. And I teleport sort of behind it.
Yeah, move your
I need to figure out. I can teleport 30 feet, so I'm just going to figure that out.
yeah.
Oh, and so it gets a disadvantage on that saving throw because of what Bill did. Because of the sonic ice creams in its head or something.
It removes 3 from whatever it rolls.
Ability checks though, but doesn't save saving throws.
True.
Oh,
true.
Constitution.
Just-
okay.
Oh
It
no, not the
doesn't- it
Constitution
doesn't-
one. It's just attacks and ability checks.
Attacks, ability
Yeah,
checks,
okay.
as well as its Constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. So if it was,
So
was
it doesn't
concentrating on
get
something.
that.
Yeah, the concentration spell or something.
But you can, move yourself to where you wanted to be.
Yep. Which would be 30 feet away
Yeah.
down here.
Okay, great. So you sort of teleport in behind this thing, and you're expecting it to be left in a frightened state from you, and instead it just
Well,
oh, you don't expect it.
I'm not expecting it. I'm hoping.
Probably a good thing because I don't even have to roll. It is not going to be frightened by you.
Rude.
Unfrightenable.
I mean, this creature is not frightened of much. It's going to take a lot to frighten this kind of thing.
All right. So that's my bonus action. For my action, I'm going to try and drag it away from the pillar or anything it could cling to get its mobility back. I want to leave it floating like the balloon midway in the cave, flailing helplessly. So I'm going to strike out by slamming my staff down and directing a thorn whip towards it. And I'm going to use inspiration.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna roll it and then see if I want to use bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I should have used normal inspiration.
Well, you can choose to do bardic inspiration after you roll.
Yeah, but I'm like, should I have done normal inspiration and then added bardic on that? I think I'm gonna
double.
do that.
Why do you have?
Although I
why
already
do you have-
rolled, so
Why do you have advantage? Sorry.
if I used inspiration,
Oh right. Yeah. I'll let you use it.
but I was second guessing whether I should use it. So I'm like,
you can totally use it.
okay, I'm gonna use that. So I rolled a 3 + 8 the first time, and a 2 + 8 the second time. So I'm guessing even with the +4, that's not gonna hit.
Well, are you going to use it?
I'm going to use it on the better roll because it only lasts so long, right?
What's the plus
so
4?
I'll use the D4 from Bill's bardic inspiration.
I thought it was a D10.
added to the-
It's just a 4.
It's a D10.
Which he
you rolled it
a
and it was a
4.
4.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, that was me clicking the button. You should be the one.
Oh,
who rolled.
okay.
Yeah.
Watch me roll a 1. I'm going to add this roll to the 11. Please.
I was trying to put the rules on the page.
I rolled a 9! 11 plus 9! Please, come on, that's got to hit.
That's a hit. That is a hit.
Yes.
So yeah, your thorn whip strikes out, wraps around. Where are you just aiming for one of its legs as it's hovering in the room?
It is like a balloon, yeah.
And it does 13 damage.
Now I'm on the ground and I get to pull it 10 feet closer to me, up to 10 feet. So I'm going to gauge it so that it's kind of hovering so that it can't touch anything, hopefully. So away from the ceiling and away from the floor and away from the pillar is the idea.
Yeah, so it's about middle of this thing anyway, being 20. There's like another 20 feet above it and 20 feet below it, this kind of thing. It's in the middle. And you've just started now pulling it away from the pedestal. Towards, or like, I guess, over and above you by 10 feet?
Yes. It doesn't have to be a full 10 feet if I can keep it away from me but still have it not able to touch things.
All right.
I'm not going to pull it all the way up to me.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move it 5 feet away from that pedestal then.
Is it out of striking distance? Because that would be preferable.
Well, that's the thing about...
Slide down.
This is the thing about levitate. On its turn, as part of its movement...
No, that's if it's on myself.
If you are... all right. So what the hell does this thing cannot do much? Just levitating there, by the sounds of it. So
well, hopefully not.
Yeah. So I think from what American would believe, it'd be pretty... It's not within striking distance. It's now hovering sort of above and a little bit off to the side, and it's kind of like just floating around. And every chance it gets, it like locks its eyes onto one of you before it turns, and then gets its eyes locked onto another one of
Got
you.
one eye for each person, really.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be to have that happen to you? Oh,
Slowly spinning.
I would just simply die of shame.
And you've still got movement if you want it as well, American.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that because I just used that to teleport. Oh shoot. Well then I'm just going to back off even further towards this south pillar.
Okay. And we will take...
Panting and looking rather haggard.
And we will take a 5-minute break.
Ooh, that was intense.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
still intense.
It's still intense.
It's still intense. It's a bit of this. Okay, so when I said I purchased something on D&D Beyond, it was this creature's stat block that I
can imagine.
that I purchased.
Ah.
Yeah.
My first clue that there would be something scary happening this session was when I said Morley will probably be looking sweaty, and you were like, well, he might not just be able to be sweaty or something like that. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
I think I said something along the lines of, you might need Morley for this one. Yeah.
It's definitely cooler to have a thing happening, like feeling like we're earning.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
cool.
If we do manage to get these spells, to come
unless
along.
this is just the death of you. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, it could happen.
yeah. Sorry, Joe?
Oh no, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah. So I really wanted to have something that wasn't just American does something while everyone else goes off and does something else. I wanted it to be something that feels like you all are part of this, you know. I'm pretty happy with this. Pretty happy with this so far. We'll see how it goes. He might be a little stronger than I thought it would be, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh. He's stronger.
I thought all of the things that it's immune to, I thought it was resistant to. So this is proving to be a bit harder.
Oh, it's completely
Which is great,
immune
which is
to
fine, which is totally fine. It sounds great.
arrows.
So like I said, they just bounced right off her.
Well, if we just set up camp here, Brian, you just keep passing levitate, and it will eventually die of hunger and surrender.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
Maybe not. Maybe not. Too many spell slots.
it's only a 2nd level spell.
Oh wow! What?
Mm,
Yeah.
it's a goodie.
By the way, Waffles has just piped up saying, "Great session so far. Just your weekly reminder that you're all amazingly beautiful people." Thank you so much, Waffles. Thank you for the constant
Very kind.
support and the constant love. It's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Waffles.
Now 20.
Oh, and Operative Peanut has joined us. Thank you so much. We also, I don't think you were here at the time, but we did thank you for resubscribing yesterday as well. So thank you so much for that. They say, "Oh boy, she's going to be tanky." I think talking about the big spider.
We've never dealt with something that just like, well, maybe we have, but I don't think we've dealt with many things which completely resist all damage from arrows or anything like that.
Yeah.
Immune to piercing damage. Write that one down. It's probably immune to like bludgeoning as well. I don't know. Well, maybe not, but
Yeah. Now I can't do any other concentration spells while I'm doing levitate, so I can't do my sickening radiance or anything.
if it's hopefully not immune to firebolt, Morley might be able to hit it and help next turn. Imagine if it's immune to like fire as well.
Well,
What else is there?
I do think that muddled status effect on it is great. That was a great move, I think, getting that on there.
should I just make a teleportation circle?
It's just
And
like,
leave.
we were wrong. We were wrong.
Actually, we don't want your help. You're rude.
So did it fail its save? Did it take the 8d6 psychic damage?
It took some psychic damage.
Oh, so what? It's resistant to psychic damage?
I'm not seeing the 8d6 being rolled anywhere.
It did. It was 27.
Oh, I see. It's above the spell.
Yeah. So there was the roll and the psychic damage there.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Well, he's got muddled thoughts, so
Which is fantastic.
he's just spinning, levitating, freaking out like a
Throwing
bad
up.
acid trip,
Shitting.
farting.
Oh, just like fizzy lifting drinks.
Yeah.
But on acid, yeah.
Yeah, because don't let it burp, because then it will slowly lower to the ground.
True.
I
I'm
can't
just
even
having a
do
look
that
at
much.
some of its other stats.
It managed to get me pretty good.
Yeah, that was, again, a really good roll. So, not that it was rolling with advantage, but I always have it roll both just in case. And it rolled like 24, 23, 23, and 20.
My gosh.
So it rolled incredibly well for those first two attacks on you. And also rolled really well for the damage. About right for the damage.
About right. So it could have done a lot more. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I got? Yes. We can pull out a couple of dogs.
Oh shit.
No. Watch
I
out.
need to-
Here come the mastiffs.
Do I need to prepare
Dog.
some mastiffs, do I?
Oh, you could
Dogs versus giant spiders.
use the ladder to like climb up to it and get it in its weak spot.
Oh, right. With my pen knife.
Yeah.
You don't have that
My letter
iron-
opener.
What was it? You've got a trap as well, right? What happens if you put a trap on a living thing? Can you attach it to...
Dies.
It just dies instantly.
Yeah. What? So you reckon you could put a hole onto an animate creature?
like like you're saying, like the one from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. What happens if you like found someone or thing big enough, living thing, and just like slap it on the side of a cow or something?
Oh yeah, because they do put holes inside of cows, don't they? But they survive. I reckon it would survive, and you could just sort of reach in, grab its heart, and pull it out.
Yeah.
Or a fatality.
Yeah.
Operative Peanut said, got here a little late as they're designing engravings for a new DM screen that they've ordered. That sounds cool.
Ooh, that sounds cool indeed.
That sounds super cool. If you're not already a part of the Discord, jump in. Show some pictures, man. Pretty keen to see that. There's a link if you needed it. But definitely keen to see what you've got ordered and what you've got planned for it. That sounds great. All right, well, what do you reckon we just get back into this fight? Because we've got 45 minutes. I can imagine it taking a little while.
Really?
Maybe. Okay. Map is back for everyone. American, you've just done Thorn Whip. Well, you've done a few things. Misty stepped away from its reach, used Thorn Whip to pull this giant levitating spider out into the middle of this space so that it can't reach anything. And then you've given yourself some distance from it as well. It is the spider's turns, just the smaller ones. And a few of them are starting to just sort of like come out of their enclosures just to sort of have a look and see what's happening. As just to see this thing unfolding in front of them. And at the moment they're just sort of keeping their distance. American, the one to your left is probably the closest any are, but that doesn't seem interested in doing anything more than just watching. It is this giant, the spider boss's turn, and it is trying to do anything at this point. It's reaching out in all directions, trying to find a means to grab onto something. And everything, the floor is out of reach as it's turning, the pedestals are out of reach as it's turning as well, and it's unable to grab on to anything. You're all just all out of reach. So he does get a chance to save again. Is there an intelligence saving throw at the end of its turn?
For the muddle.
For the muddle, not for the levitate. It has rolled a 15, so still maintains its muddle.
Still muddled?
Yeah. Plus, it would have had it would have got a -3 off that as well. So definitely still muddled. So total of 12. It's going to be hard to beat that muddle, knowing that they have to remove 3 off every roll.
I don't, because that's a saving throw, right? So it doesn't have to remove it off that.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Thank you for making that easier for me. Thank you. That's perfect. No, that's great. That's good.
In fact,
their intelligence save is
doubles
lower
it
than
for the actual saves. All right, we're back with Morley. So you guys are lucky. Nothing occurred from that spider. I will say the one thing that it does do is it just hisses out. And we're at a point where you've still probably just on the tail end of having speak with animals, and you make it out clearly, American, is that it's ordering everything in this room to assist.
Oh no.
There's cheating. It must know that it should give up at this point. Like, yes, you passed the test. Instead of like, oh my god.
Morley, what do we think Morley does from the shadows?
Same as last time.
Yeah,
Scorching Rain?
I reckon. Yeah. Who wants to roll it?
No, okay.
So this is a second level spell, is that right?
Yes, it is. So he's used 1. Oh, I can't fill that in.
There we go. I've just filled that in. So he's used 1.
Okay.
Give us the 3 rolls.
Okay, so he rolled a 13 total.
Nice. Again, just like as the spider's turning, it just like darts through one of the spaces between its legs.
8 plus 5. And then the second one is another 8 plus 5. Oh my god. For 13.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Morley. 15 plus 5 for 20.
That is a hit. That is finally
Yes.
a hit.
And he gets sneak attack, doesn't? Oh no! Oh yes, he does because he's hidden.
With how did we deal with this? This was
He does.
I think-
he
yeah,
picked
yeah.
Up, he picked up a talent when he reached
Yeah,
a
that's
certain level
right.
where it does actually do it now.
yeah. So give us the sneak attack.
How do you do that? What is that?
On his actions.
Should be a sneak attack.
Yeah,
button.
there should just be under other. You can just click the 66 damage button.
Oh, okay. Sneak attack.
Only if it did 66.
See, a lot of
damage.
ones.
Oh.
12.
12. Okay, so a total of 32 damage. That's not
So that
too.
was
That's not bad.
66. Is it as if he rolled 2 on each of them?
What's that? Sorry.
66.
Oh, yeah.
That sucks.
That is. That's pretty low. All right, and we will just assume he hides again at the end of his turn, unless there's anything else that we think he would do.
But he made a hit. I mean, he's improving.
Yeah. Baron, over to you.
Okay. Well, I am going to pull. I'm holding 2 staves. Glass staff. Frost staff. Ice staff. Which I got from the Amber Temple. And I'm going to cast Cone of Cold, pointed at the creature floating in the air. And it uses 5 charges, so but I don't know if I can actually cast Cone of Cold by clicking it.
Oh,
Doesn't show up. But I'll paste the thing in here. And
oh yeah, 60-foot cone.
60-foot cone.
Boom. It definitely reaches.
And it does. It has to make a Constitution saving throw of 17.
Okay. Well, he's got some
D8 cold damage.
good constitution. He's rolled a total of 16.
Oh, so he just fails.
He fails.
Ooh.
So here's 8d8 cold damage for 45.
That's pretty good. That is
2, 8,
pretty
8, 2,
good.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. You lift up the staff and just this. You angle it in such a way that it's just going to get the spider and just not Bill, just a little bit to the side, just to make sure it doesn't wrap Bill up in that as well, and it just shoots out with breeze, just this icy breeze, and you can see frost accumulating on all of the legs and abdomen of the spider.
Like I've got my Karcher out, my water blaster.
And it does 45 damage. And it again lets out that just deep hiss. American again, you're hearing the desperation as it's asking for assistance or demanding assistance now. Anything else from the Baron?
I guess I can't hide, can I?
If you've got, isn't that an action if you don't have? Yeah, it's a full action.
No, that's all I can do.
Okay.
I'm going to look around furtively. Do I see any movement of these spiders around me?
Yeah, like behind you, like up to the northeast, you've got one of the spiders coming up from one of its alcoves.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to run to the south then. Bye, Molly.
Okay. He's hidden anyway, so that's fine.
Okay.
Bill.
Bill's gonna move. I think I could get to there. Over to this side, and I'm just gonna say, All right, team, whack the spider pinata and cast vicious mockery on the spider. He needs to do a DC 18 wisdom.
Wisdom. It's a 5. He's rolled a total of 5.
All right, well, he takes a total of 8 damage.
And just like the last, just like your, what was it? Was Sonic the Hedgehog ice cream spell? It does half. It doesn't affect it as to the full extent that you thought it might.
Oh, psychic damage. Did the cold look like it hurt it?
Yeah, the cold hurt.
Okay.
So did Scorching Ray.
Scorching Rain, all right.
Yeah. It definitely looks like the elements hurt this thing.
Cool. That's helpful to know because I don't have any other kind of damage.
yeah.
Psychic.
Definitely going to change the tactics that I employ.
Okay, cool. Anything else? Anything else?
No, that's it.
Cool.
Does it have another effect?
Oh yeah, it does. It his next attack is at disadvantage.
Okay, cool. American.
Yeah, sorry, before the end of its next turn. So if he's still in the air for a whole turn, that'll be gone anyway.
Okay. American, back to you.
American's feeling deadly serious. She closes her eyes and repeats to herself, "Follow the path." Yes. And she raises out both her arms to her sides and slowly begins to move one hand across her whole body from one arm right out to the tip of the other, again ending outstretched. And as she does that, frost forms along her arms and spreads around her whole body as she invests herself with ice, becoming a frost lady. This is my first time using investiture of ice.
Oh.
I push out my hand in front of me and blast towards the spider with a cone of icy freezing wind.
This spider has not been rolling very well for its saving throws. It's a total of 8.
Okay. So I've rolled 17 damage.
Oh, sorry, 13. 13, sorry.
Sorry, what?
It was a roll of 13, sorry.
All right, so it's failed its constitution save, so it takes the whole damage. It takes 17 cold damage.
Okay.
And as she does that, she calmly struts across the battleground, leaving ice in her wake, frost forming 10 feet around her in all directions.
Whoa.
Wait, so what is the... It's a cone of 15? What is the full details for it?
15-foot cone. I'm going... Well, did I not put it in?
No.
Yeah, did that help?
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. So it's a cone of freezing wind. So I'm going to obviously aim that at the spider. I'm going to get close enough to actually hit it, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And
is it speed
walk
halved
across.
until the start of your next turn, so it's also slowed. Man, this thing is getting just hit by a bunch of different statuses. You guys might have to remind me of some of them.
She does look... she looks imperious, yet also the signs of exhaustion, as she is also bloodied, betray the seriousness.
Like blood icicles.
Yes, all my blood has turned to ice.
That's awesome. Anything else from American?
Wow.
I'm gonna try and coax Runzin out of his pocket dimension and be like, look better, there's a smaller one. Get him! And Runzin's gonna pop out and try and web that one. The one on the west.
Okay.
So it's a d20 plus 4 to hit. 14 plus 4 for 18.
That's a hit.
Right, so it's webbed in place.
Yes.
Right, boy.
Anything else?
I look very cool.
Great.
Well, literally, I look freezing.
You look freezing. Okay,
My lips are blue.
It is the
Like a Sonic the Hedgehog ice cream.
How dare you?
these spiders just dart out towards out of the darkness. They're just dashing now, and they're leaping up and grabbing one. This one is like grabbing onto the legs of this enormous spider. The one that's just been webbed, thanks to being a spider, it just manages to take the webbing off, and its turn leaps on and hangs onto the legs of the giant spider boss. One of the other giant spiders doesn't quite make it there, and the other one, darting straight past Morley, doesn't quite make it to the giant spider. This large creature. The weight
Can
of
you do
these.
a opportunity attack?
If he
Opportunity
wants to reveal himself to it. At the moment, he's hidden. If he attacks,
What do you reckon?
I think he would, because then
I
he
think
can
he
hide
would.
again, right?
on
He
his
gets
turn,
the-
he can.
He'll get the stealth attack.
He will, but he will, like I said, he will reveal himself and won't be able to hide until his
He'll
next
die.
turn.
He does like to do a bit of damage, though, doesn't he? I think he would.
I think so.
Yeah, because they're going to go help the boss as well, which is what we want to prevent. So he would use his Sunblade, surely.
Okay, all right. We'll roll the Sunblade against this spider that's running past.
Should we use inspiration or... Nah, let's not use his inspiration for him.
Not for this one.
Yeah. How do we... Who's going to cast the... Who's going to do that?
Oh, I got it here, but I've just got short sword. Where's his?
Yeah, I can't find his sword on his attacks. Where is it?
Let's have a quick look.
Morley's like rummaging in his coat, like, where is it?
Does he not have a...
Oh, is it inventory? Maybe.
He's got ball bearings. Maybe he just does that instead. That would be good.
He shakes his bell.
Unless it's just there. No, it's not. I don't know where it is. Unless it's on his roll.
Not even on his
20.
character sheet. It must be.
Yeah, in which case I might have to be the one to roll it. Let's bring up Morley, but he hasn't. All the stats aren't updated. What does this guy do with his? All right.
He's going to be having a talking to.
All right. I'll roll, I guess, using his Sunblade.
Is it called a sunlight blade or?
There we go. He's rolled a 19.
All right.
Could you also roll the 66? Because that is a hit. So this will be classified as a sneak attack.
Okay, 6d6. Here we go. 6, 4, 6, 6, 5, 4 for 31.
Doing a total of
wow.
43 damage. So Morley,
Damn.
out of the darkness with the Sunblade, just lights the place up,
Whoa.
slices down the side of the spider, and just slicing it into two pieces as it continues its movement, leaving guts and gore behind it, dead on the ground.
Whoa. Just chopped off its abdomen.
Yeah, just straight down the middle. Shook. So that's that one dead.
Hopefully the rest of them just surrender and we don't actually kill all our potential future allies.
But it looks like the two that did manage to like climb up onto it. It's not that they're smart enough to try and pull this thing down to the ground. It looks like it's trying to cover, to protect this creature. It's just unfortunately having the effect of weighing it down a bit. But not enough for it to reach the ground.
Okay.
Especially with one dead and the other one not quite close enough. It is this spider creature's turn once more, and it's rotating.
Thinks it's young.
No, it is definitely not eating its young. It is trying to so hard to try and reach out, and it's noticing that the weight of these smaller spiders on it is bringing it closer to the ground, and it is desperately reaching for the ground and is just unable to. We're going to roll another intelligence saving throw to see if it breaks this muddle. Here we go. Just a roll of an 8. It is still muddled. That was with advantage as well.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Good.
Spider
This
is
is good.
not rolling well. Morley, now currently in plain sight, having just lit up the entire room with his sunblade.
Yeah, pretty cool. A lot
Yeah.
like Empire Strikes Back or something.
Yeah.
So,
I was imagining when Darth Maul cuts Qui-Gon Jinn in half.
true.
He goes tumbling, and he goes tumbling down the
yeah.
in 2 pieces.
The other way around. Darth Maul
sorry,
gets
yeah,
down,
it is.
but he does poke Qui-Gon through the chest, doesn't he? So they both
Yeah.
So there
killed
is
each
that.
other.
It's Morley's
Killed
dead.
each other.
What you're trying to say is
Oh,
Morley
yeah.
died.
Morley, yeah, we've just got to figure out. Oh, yeah, Morley's got
69
it.
damage somehow at the same time, so killed him outright. Yeah, so what's...
And you know, Darth Maul does come back with spider body legs.
I
Robot
mean, it's all
legs.
connected.
You know that? Yeah, he comes back with a robot.
Oh my God, Strahd is Darth Maul.
Okay.
So what do we think Morley's going to be doing? Same as last time, like Scorching Rain to the...
Yeah, doesn't he get a bonus action to hide? Can he do that first?
Yeah, absolutely can.
I reckon do the same thing. What do you guys reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
And then
using
he
up all
won't
his spell slots, but that's fine.
This is his third one. This is a big fight.
Yeah.
It is, by the way, it is like 8 in the morning, like 9 in the morning. So any spell slots you use, they're gone for the day. You got no idea what's happening for the rest of your day.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Taking the rest of the day off after
I
this.
get work. Yeah, I'm over math or something.
We know what happens to the rest of our day if we lose this.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a very good point.
Going in that pit.
Cocoon.
Good movie. Brian Dennehy.
So what would Morley be doing with his...
Yeah. He would be doing Scorching Rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Scorching Rain.
Give us 3 rolls to hit, please.
He goes, take this, you big ugly bastard, or something like that. He's gonna he misses with a 7 plus 5. He goes, oh, this one will surely hit. As sure as my name's Morley. 17 plus 5 for 22.
All right, that one hits. And the third
He
one?
rolls 6 damage. Okay, and then it's a 9 plus 5 for 14.
All right, give us the 6d6 sneak attack for that one that hit.
Lined up here, I
Yeah,
think.
you go for it.
He gets a 6, 4, 3, 4, 6, 4 for
Ooh,
27.
Nice.
So that's
As
a
long
total
as
of...
one hit,
So that's
it's fine.
33. Great. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that hits. 25. Okay. Cool. And while the two of them sort of go wide, that third one just knocks straight into this enormous queen spider, doing a total of 33 damage. The third one that rolled a 14 slams into one of the smaller spiders that is clinging on to
Oh.
the queen, doing 9 damage to one of them.
That was charitable.
Well, I'm just using the ACs they've got, and they're all on top of each other, so it was all,
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Spider lump.
it's
What-
a lump of spiders.
Spider.
And because he used his bonus action to hide at the start of the turn, Morley is not currently hidden.
What an idiot.
What an idiot. Who did that?
Fucked it up again. What was he thinking?
What? I don't know how to play Morley.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
Did we miss out on something we were
He
meant
got-
to
he got-
do?
He got 2 lots of.
No, I mean it's
sneak
good.
attack.
It's good.
Yeah.
He's still got his sneak attack, which is great. But he's just visible now, and in some
But
fights that
why
might be a
he
bad
doesn't-
thing.
He doesn't have to do it at the start of his turn. It doesn't say anything about
He
that.
does to get that sneak attack damage.
Yeah.
Well, that 66, isn't it?
Yeah, he needs to be hidden. It needs to be a surprise
Oh,
attack.
right. So he gets revealed.
Yeah.
Right.
Baron, over to you.
Whew.
This is looking
I
great.
am-
You're feeling. I think the Baron is feeling pretty confident, having seen all of these attacks hitting and that spider levitating in the room, getting almost nowhere for so long.
To tell you, yeah, I mean, I'm slightly heartened by it, but I'm also so disgusted and freaked out and pessimistic by nature in some ways. When it comes to like, am I going to get killed by a giant spider? I just assume yes. So I am nervous. I shakily pull out a cigarette from my pocket and light it and breathe out, and from the end of my cigarette flies a mote of fire and travels across the room and blossoms into a small nuclear explosion centered on the flying spiders.
Oh.
So it has to do, all of them have to do DC 17
Okay.
dexterity saves or take 31 fire damage.
Does he have disadvantage when he's levitating? The dex saves?
Or dex he must, but it doesn't say that for the levitate, but he must.
So we have a roll of was it 16 for the queen spider, roll of 15 and 15 for the 2 that are holding on to it. So it's failures for all.
Failure for all.
The two spiders that were clinging onto the queen spider just go up in smoke, and all of their legs crumple in, and they just fall down to the ground, drop the extra 10 feet down onto the ground, and die.
Sorry about that.
Unless you just wanted to knock them out. No? Okay. And 31 damage on the boss spider as well.
Can you do that with spell damage, or can you only do that with melee?
I think it's just melee
Choose
that
to
you can
knock
do.
them
Yeah,
out.
just
Yeah,
melee.
it's sort of a
Yeah.
disappointment.
I don't think
I think you can.
Even with
think you
fireball,
can.
you can be like, I'm going to do this, but
Yeah.
not kill it.
I think you can according
Okay.
to the rules, but it does seem weird.
Yeah, it does. Anything else, Baron? So you've now knocked these smaller spiders off, and this thing is now floating a lot closer to the ground at this point.
Oh, is it? Well, I'm going to lift it up then with levitate and
That's great. Okay, perfect.
just keep it in the middle of between the ground and the ceiling,
Yeah.
and walk to the south a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, this keeping away from cobwebs.
Yeah. I mean, of course. Bill.
Yeah, there's not much more I can do without risking some injury.
Is
Suppose
your
I
blood
could
reach 10 feet or is it 5 foot?
5 foot. I imagine I'll probably get like into the way of his limbs if I.
Well, it's still quite high up, to the point where you wouldn't be able to be within striking distance anyway, because it's hovering 20 feet up.
Okay. I'm gonna move over here and I'm gonna whack this one with the blood spear. Man. That's the noise I make.
Yeah, yeah. Give us a roll to hit.
Level heroes. Yeah.
Man. God, where's my button? Sorry. plus beer. Ooh, 13 to hit.
That is a miss. That is a miss, unfortunately.
Wow, this is embarrassing.
Oh no, you're right next to the giant spider, Bill.
That's it.
Okay, American, over to you.
First thing I'm going to do is command runs in to get back in his pocket dimension. I don't think he can do anything to help at all.
Bloop. He just like shoot. He just agrees and disappears.
Yeah. I'm going to stride forward again, slowly. Now you said it was 20 feet in the air.
Because the Barons
So-
lifted it back up.
If I jump and do, can I? Oh, I can't jump 5 feet. I can't hit it now because I have a 15 foot of cold that I can use.
Leap into the air like your strength, I think.
Yeah, I mean you can definitely launch yourself forward, I guess, to get to things. But
Yeah, launch myself up in the air and like.
yeah,
that's
pretty
healthy.
much.
Sorry, what?
It's an elf type move, like a big jump and then a shoot. Magic.
A graceful leap.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll do that.
I mean, it's from your outstretched hand. So, if you want to think about it seriously, your outstretched hand
true.
is going to be like, maybe how tall are you? 5'8" or something, or 5'5". Your hand already is going to be up above the 6 foot mark. So then you add 15. You're going to reach him with your hand up.
True.
But you've got to be close. You're going to have to be very close.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna use my movement to get up close, and she's gonna. Well, I think the speak with animals skill is worn off now, but she's still gonna be.
The thing is, it isn't, because this is only 6 seconds every turn.
Well, it only lasted 1 whole minute.
No, I thought it was 10 minutes. Speak with
I will
animals is
check.
10
I
minutes.
think I only. Let me just check on that.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to speak with the
Oh, you
queen
know, it
earlier.
was 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
10 minutes. You're right. Okay, that makes sense. So that can still understand me.
Mhm.
As I, American, calls out as bravely as she can muster, "Do you see our power now? I command the fairy winter itself!" As she Kobe's it with the, basketball jump.
You're going to need to be closer. You're going to have to be
One
within,
more
like...
your sports reference.
I do a sports analogy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Man, he's gonna be so annoyed that
just
he
like-
missed.
I'm just like a basketball man. I'm exactly like a basketball man at this point.
Is there a roll to hit, or is it just another...
They have to roll
Constitution,
a
right?
Constitution saving throw. So I'll roll the 4d6.
He's totally getting dunked on in this
Yeah.
scenario.
In this scenario, it's a basketball scenario.
it
I've rolled
is,
a measly 10.
and it is rolled a total of 25.
Wow. Okay, so it's going to take half that damage at 5.
So it takes 5 cold damage.
And I'll use
yep.
any of the extra movement I have to back away again.
You're not going to be able to back away much, because jumping takes a lot out of you. But... Oh, no, you didn't jump in the end, did you? So, no, yeah, you can totally back away.
Oh.
Cool. It is the smaller spider's turn, and the spider goes to run past Bill towards trying to help its larger queen. Instead, it shoots out with some web onto Bill. It has rolled a 12, which I believe is a miss. And it just continues, so you've got an opportunity attack as it continues to run past you, if you'd like.
I stab him in his spider butt.
Give us a roll to hit.
So, where...
It is a miss.
10 to hit.
And the spider climbs up this pedestal and launches itself on top of
It's 2 plus 8.
its mummy.
Oh.
Mummy.
Oh. They make me feel bad.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't be killing them. I think we should be aiming to incapacitate them, right? If we are trying to like make them our allies and just murdering all of them is not very helpful.
Yeah. Does it look like it's close to
Yeah,
death?
it is looking severely damaged at this point. And it is the Spider Queen's turn. And having heard Mirakin call out in spider tongue, look how powerful we are. The Queen returns its own very broken. These things don't seem overly intelligent, and it just says stop. You're strong. Please stop.
Okay. Well,
And it just
do I have
stops
to wait
moving.
for my turn?
No. We can go free action right now. By all means, you can.
So you heard it yell out to you.
Yeah, you all would have heard that calling out. And it was quite a compared to its deeper hisses and clicks. It was quite softer spoken.
Mirakin's going to scream out, "Stop! The Queen has conceded defeat to us!"
And it just maintains levitating, and it just repeats the same clicks and hisses. Stop.
You really think you trust it, American?
Follow the path, Brian. We must follow the path.
Okay, I will lower my hands like this.
And it starts like
lowering it.
reaching out towards the ground, trying to find traction on the stonework, and finally it manages to land onto the ground, and with its the smaller spider on top of it, that slowly makes its way over to Mirakin, and does its best to almost kneel down in front of Mirakin, and it states in its very broken tongue, "Our might is yours when you need it."
Wow, cool.
And it lets out this massive call, and the 12 spiders that sort of guided you in all come pouring into this area, and sort of encircle the area of the group. And there's like a chattering, and the front legs sort of going up in the air as if in celebration of the last few things you hear before your speak with animals finally turns off was just the excitement of the promise of feast.
Yes. I'll solemnly take a moment to place my hand on the queen spider's head and nod solemnly.
And just to cut that emotional kind of moment of winning the trust of this large spider and its children, the spiders that have come in start moving over to the killed spiders and just start pulling them apart and feasting on
There you go. We've already started.
And one that was injured earlier that ran away is sort of like hobbling in from the southern entrance where the queen originally emerged from, and it's looking really beaten and almost heavy on its feet as it tumbles up next to you, Mirakin, and just crumples down onto the stonework.
Does it get ripped apart by its family?
It's not dead, but it's very close.
I eat the spider to assert dominance.
I'll allow it.
True spider queen.
I will. I'll kneel next to the spider and cast Good Berry as berries appear within my hand, and I offer it up to the spider, some of the berries.
Yeah, he's
even
not.
just one.
He eats it up. He's not hungry anymore, but he's still very damaged. But he's...
Oh yeah, it only
His
heals
fault.
like 1. Oh, sorry. I thought, no. Or maybe I shouldn't do that. Oh, well, it's too late now.
Depends. Were you
Shall I
just trying to fill their bellies or were you trying to heal?
Experience.
You know what? They can have some good berries and I'll cast Healing Word, okay? I don't want
nice.
it to, like, guilt trip me and be like, I'm not hungry, but I'm very sore. Alright, so it gets the 1 from the good berry and it
Perfect.
gets a 4+4 healing from Healing Word.
Yeah, perfect. It gets shakily back up onto its feet, and moves closer to the Spider Queen, and just rests sort of up against it. You have yourself a spider gang now, crew.
Not again.
That's what I'm going to say.
The thing is, they're not overly smart. They will follow you now wherever you go from this point forward, unless instructed very clearly not to. But you're going to need to be able to speak their language if you're wanting to. At this point, anyway, if you're wanting to give them any sort of commands, you're going to need to use speak with animals. There is obviously over time. Train them enough, you'll be able to give them signals instead, or maybe train them to do very specific things.
Wow.
Can Ranzan speak the same language?
Yeah, they
question.
speak spider.
I think I'll leave introducing Ranzin for another time, just because I'm worried they might try to eat him real quick.
Yeah.
I'll build a bit of trust with them first.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Feast.
You're like, you promised us food, and here it is. Yeah.
Okay, so
done?
American, should we get out of here or what?
Yes.
And the Spider Queen scuttles back into her hiding place south of this room.
Is she coming with us?
Well, she has spiders to create. If she can't risk her life for this, but she can quite easily risk the others.
Okay.
Yeah. That is all explained just as in the last moments of Speak with Animals.
Yes, I cannot risk my own life, but yeah, have my children.
And as you all exit out of this area and back out into Barovia, the spiders are all following either side of you and join you out back in the rain outside Argynvost. And I think we can probably call it there.
Yeah,
Let's call it there.
we survived. Disgusting
Wow.
spider hole.
There's always one fucking move that ruins everything, isn't there, Shannon?
Yes, isn't it? Yeah.
God damn it.
I got to apologize because I was like, this is not gonna work,
Oh, right.
Oh, levitate.
and I was like looking at the Baron incredulously, and then it was like basically just
It was
trivialized.
it was that thorn whip. I'm not sure how you guys would have moved it away from things.
Yeah,
but that
Finally,
thorn whip
thorn
was
whip.
just like
Lower it.
perfect. Yeah, you can only
I
lower
was
it or
thinking
heighten.
gust of wind or whatever.
Yeah, that kind of thing could have done.
Yeah,
it.
I thought you would do gust of wind, but the thorn whip was great.
Yeah,
I
that was
think
so
if
good.
I tried to move across the ceiling or something, I could attempt to pull it down, or so we'd have to sort of stay on that pillar.
Yeah. Well, if it could have reached that pillar, it would have been just climbed its way back down and because it can.
So you reckon it couldn't? Because I can lift it 20 feet each.
Yeah,
time.
every time you have your turn, you'd be able to lift it back off the ground. But on its turn,
Yeah.
it would at least once be able, if it could reach
Yeah.
the pillar at one point, it would be able to do something.
Yes.
Again, it just didn't go how I was expecting it to go. I thought for sure, I was playing the Spider Queen with the idea that it would not kill, but it would like knock out.
Oh.
So the whole point
Right.
wasn't to kill you; it was to prove a point. But you guys absolutely
Right.
soundly proved a point to her instead.
If she'd hit me 1 or 2 more times, she would have proved a good point against me.
If you had hit her 1 or 2 more times without specifying something, then she would have also perished.
Yeah,
That's why I wanted to make sure she specifically like gave up before she died.
because if it was able to run around and just hit us, like that one round almost killed a character.
Yeah.
It would have been like,
So I used the stats of a jade spider. It said basically it's immune to basically anything that isn't an adamantine attack, and I just changed that to magical attack because you've got nothing
What the
that's
heck
adamantine.
is an adamantine?
oh, it's the metal? Like,
Yeah, because it's
Really?
because the stats of it is it's like a spider made of jade, right?
Oh,
and so you
wow,
need
okay.
something. Yeah, so I changed that to magic instead. But the one thing you managed to avoid that I was just ready to bust out is it can cast slow on you guys if you're within range, which basically you can't use reactions. Your speed is halved. You can't make more than one attack on your turn, and you can either take an action or a bonus action, not both. So
Ooh.
so no hiding from Wally and
yeah. So if it had managed to get, if you were close enough, that's what it would have been able to do.
how close do you have to get.
You'd have to just be within 10 feet. And everyone moved away, like straight away, and then left it hovering in the air. So it was just like nothing it could do. Yeah, that was good. Really, really
Close
good. But yeah,
Cool.
the bludgeoning damage was awesome. Just that how strong it was. It was like the ability to do that 20 damage is basically its average attack.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can't wait for our boss fight against the father at the church.
You must defeat this guy with the baby on his shoulder.
Father
Milovich,
Lucian,
get
I
your
mean.
shovel.
Oh, that-
You have to fight Milovich and his shovel.
Or like Father Lucian tears off his robes and he's like super oiled up and muscly.
and Master Roshi.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was super cool. I had one other thing planned, but we'll get to that next session. So that's awesome. It gives us a great starting point for the next session.
Wow. What would have happened if I rolled real stink when I was first trying to talk to the spiders?
Well, you did, right?
You did, and you had used Needle to help.
No, but I mean, if I hadn't had that and failed, and
You would probably have had to have thought up something else. I'm not going to answer your. You tell me what you would have done. What would you have done if you had failed? And they
Made
weren't
an
listening?
example of 1 or 2 spiders.
yeah, Brian, get in here with the fireball. I'm losing them.
Spiders.
But yeah, what would
You're
you
like,
have done, Joe?
"Ooh, tough crowd.
If let's say you'd
if
rolled
I
that
didn't-
and they were just like hissing back at you that they don't care, or if they started like moving towards you.
Yeah, I guess you could either do like trying to persuade with like treats, like making good berries, or you could try and scare them with spells or something. I reckon. What would other people do? What's a way more clever thing than that?
I don't know, like, because if you've already failed, you'd have to do something that's kind of risky, I guess.
I thought
Pushing a roll.
I might have resorted to like letting one bite me and showing that I was immune to poison, because that's something I gained as like a level something druid. You're immune to
that right?
poison. I was like, oh, that'd be a cool show of strength to be like, yes, you may bite me, but you cannot poison me.
Or you could have turned into a giant spider. Can you do that?
I could turn into some types of spiders, yeah. I don't know how big I can go yet, but giant, yes.
Because that
What's
might
the
have been
CR rating you can go?
I have to look that up. It's like your druid level halved or something, so I guess no.
Yeah, it depends what kind of druid, right?
I can look it up.
Or there's one special to
Oh,
your
at level 8, you get a CR of 1.
Oh, yeah. And so giant spiders are a CR of 1. So you'd have at least been able to mirror them.
Yeah. So there's lots of creative things you
But
can
you'd
do.
look cool. You'd be
That
like
would have been cool.
cool shapes or something. Hey,
I should have tried to
Just a
impress
dance
them by
battle.
molding earth.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. I was kind of at that end there. I was hoping that the spider was going to successfully web Bill as well. So it was quite funny. It just shooting its web on the ground and then Bill striking out with its spear and missing. It was good.
Epic.
Yeah, really, real epic moment there in D&D.
Over the ages.
Yeah,
I did like Morley one-shotting
that
the
was
ones running
yeah,
past.
that was
Lightsaber
great.
from the dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was seriously cool.
I felt a little bit bad that we were killing them, but I was like, well,
That's what I was actually thinking that as well. I was like, all right, so you guys are killing who you were hoping to.
Yeah, I wasn't that happy with
Enlist.
that, but I didn't think to like say it before it started happening.
Yeah,
I just assumed that these were the ones that they were gonna. I thought there was heaps more, and these were just a few that were in there. That for their test, but because there's hundreds of eggs, right?
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
how many spiders there are.
No, there's definitely a lot of eggs. I don't know I'll have to check the gestation period for giant spiders. In
Yeah,
Barovia.
and now I'm just like, oh man, have we just like killed half the army?
No, you killed 3. You killed 3, and you've managed to like take 12 with you. So that's
Yeah, if we killed like 3 spiders or whatever, it's not much of an army.
Yeah,
You know?
and
Right.
you know, it actually nourished the other ones, the more
yeah.
wordy ones. So you know,
Yeah. So I mean,
all in all, we'll call it a success.
So what you've got now is basically a very stealthy army. So these guys have like a +7 modifier on stealth. So they're pretty stealthy if you want to be able to use that in some way. They've got dark vision and blind sight, so they can move around even if they're blinded pretty easily. They've got spider climb, obviously. They've got web sense, which means if they're in contact with a web, the spider can know the exact location of any other creature that's in contact with the same web. They can web walk, which means basically webbing does nothing to them. They bite, so that's their main way of attacking, and they have web, which they can shot.
Are they giant spiders, like the same stat block as what I can turn into, or are they something variant?
Yeah, no, they're the giant spider, the same stats that you've got.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't because we've spoken sort of in regards to what you want to do with this army. You've got the idea of having mounts, or you've got this idea of these dusk elves. I've just gone with standard giant spider. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
What we could do is we could get that mirror and give it a target. Like, what's his name? Who's that? Rahadin? The guy we never met. Go kill Rahadin. We'll never get to see him actually. So, and get excited to follow this mirror assassin, and then just be all like,
Just be like, help him.
yeah.
when the time comes.
Healthily.
We will just assume that Rahadin's dead now. All right. Sweet.
Yeah, he'll catch him eating a toad. And
Yeah. Oh, that was cool. That was awesome. The other thing I just wanted to is probably a good thing. I know that you're all building your sort of individual armies, but do think of it as one large army that you're building. Don't get too caught up in the idea of the ones you're trying to build, because what we definitely want later on is how they're all going to be working together, strategizing, and think up some really cool ways that they can all be working together. So think of it as one giant army that you all are controlling. I think that'd be awesome. All right. Well,
I could have just fed 10 good berries.
You could have just given him 10
I just could have
berries.
shoveled it 10 good berries.
Yeah.
Anyway.
it's disgusting mouth.
Okay, well, if anyone is still watching, come say hi on the Discord. It'd be great to see you guys all there. You can check any of our previous sessions on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts from if you like just listening instead. And don't forget to join our Patreon. Help us get to 20 patrons so that we can have an awesome snack stream. Who wouldn't want a snack stream? So join our Patreon. It's only $4 a month, and help us get the snack stream. And if you are in that for 3 months, you get a sweet little piece of art sent to your doorstep, which is fantastic. A few people have already received theirs, which is seriously cool. Thanks for playing, guys. You guys are awesome as always. And we'll be here at the same time next time.
I'm so glad it'll be.
Huh?
I was going to say, I'm so glad the focus will be on someone else next time.
The focus was on, I don't know, it wasn't only you.
I know, but I hate being spotlighted.
Right. Well, you did well. I thought you did really well. I think it was a good conversation at the start of the session where everyone was kind of just solidifying, landing on exactly what the next few steps are, which helps me prep, which is great. I'm feeling really comfortable with what the next sort of few sessions might look like. And you're even going down some thought processes that I was hoping you would go down, which helps.
Oiled up Father Lucian. Fighting Milovich in the graveyard. Fantastic.
Mirror assessed spiders.
Yeah. But no, I don't think the focus was too much on you. Once it was just for that.
I'm just shy.
Well, you did well. But we will be here at the same time next time. Hopefully with Adam. I'm pretty certain with Adam. He's moved house, so he doesn't have the internet in any kind of meaningful way. So hopefully next week. If not, we just won't do his stuff, his specific army for a while. It's okay.
He did well.
He did very well. It was like he was here the whole time with those bad rolls for 90% of the time.
I forgot about it.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, and thanks to you guys for being awesome players. Oh, we still.
This is for Adam.
I thought we were all going to be like, yay!
All right. Thanks, guys, and thanks for stopping by. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Reagan.